us on Instagram.
Better follow me
at Philly Jam 95.3 FM.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Rebirth on Philly Jamz 95.3. It's your girl, Shay Marriott, in the building. And joining me tonight is my co-host, Mr.
Hey, it's your boy Eli Isabel in the building, a.k.a. the South got something to say. What's up, Shay?
What's up, E?
What's up, Philly Jamz?
The South got something to say. What you got to say?
I got a lot to say. You
South.
already know.
I know that's right.
We gonna talk about it tonight. Respectfully.
Respectfully.
But we're going to talk about it nevertheless.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Once again, welcome to the Rebirth, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, we got a lot to unpack tonight. Tonight is going to be a great show. So I'm going to throw the number out there because if you guys want to call up for comments or questions, please feel free to do so. The number is 267-908-3166. Again, that's 267-908-3166. Welcome to the Rebirth and happy Monday. How was your weekend?
Hey, you know what? My weekend started out, Friday was good. So, you know, I'm in this Fitbit challenge, right? I'm not in it this week. Okay. But I've been battling with this 60-something-year-old lady every week, right? So I beat her the first 2 weeks. And then last week, you know, my sciatic was acting up a little bit. So I got off to a late start on her. So Friday morning when I woke up, I was down 15,000 steps. So I was like, I'm finna break her heart. So I get that all day. I walked like 10 miles, right? And I got her down within 3,000 steps of her, and then I was done. I couldn't do it. So I spent all day Saturday on the couch, broke down.
Wow.
Sore as a And let me tell you something. Whoever said, thank you, Tosh. Whoever said Epsom salt work is a lie. My mama had us buying Epsom salt my whole life. I took an Epsom salt bath. It just made me angry.
You was still.
I got out. I was still sore as I was before I got in there. I was like, what in the hell?
You should have rubbed down in some alcohol.
That's what I should have did.
Right.
But no, I use that. No, that's my skin conditioner. Can't waste my alcohol.
Wow.
How was your weekend?
Wow.
Oh, I hung out with you too.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. My weekend was absolutely great. Friday night, I hung out with Michelle Washington and the Women of More. I was one of the women that was highlighted down there at the riverfront at the Juice Joint.
Amen.
And we had an awesome time fellowshipping and networking with the women. It was just a great time.
So I heard you were honored. Can you talk about the honor?
Yeah. So Michelle Washington, I mean, she is the CEO and founder of Women of More magazine. Okay. And we actually met on a photo shoot. So not the one I just did, but the one I did last year. And, you know, she really just held me down. And I didn't even know her at that time, you know, but we connect. And she, you know, she pretty much was highlighting me and a couple other ladies, you know, just to see that, to say I see you. I see you, you know, doing what you're doing with your business and being consistent and all of that. And I really appreciate that. She definitely holds me accountable.
That's dope.
She definitely holds me accountable, and she definitely pushes me to be more. So I really had a great time on Friday evening, and I definitely appreciated the honor. Saturday, I slept off and on.
But then you topped Friday off with me and Jules.
Wait a minute. No. That was Friday night.
Yep, Friday night. Yep.
That's why I slept all day on Saturday. Yeah. So Friday night, you and Jules came through and we hung out at my house, at my crib.
Brandywine Program alumni.
Yeah.
From the late 90s.
Yeah. Over what? That's a lot of years of friendship. So we had a good time. Absolutely.
That was nice. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yep. So we have a great show waiting for you guys tonight. Before we get into the show. Before we get into right here, right now, I want to introduce this lovely, beautiful woman that is sitting here with us tonight. First of all, I'm going to introduce you how I know her.
I lose some memories.
To me, when I first came to Delaware, she was one of the first women that took me under her wing. We both were skaters. We met at Ellesmere Skating Rink. Yep. Shout out to Ellesmere Skating Rink, G-Man, and the Ellesmere crew. I don't know what that sound effect was, but it was scary. Oh, okay. And she just took me under her wing, and just beautiful woman, beautiful spirit, and we was just hanging ever since. We hung from the back in the day, the good old times to still now.
Want to hear about those times?
No, you ain't hearing about none of that. But anyway, I call her my nut. Affectionately, I call her my nut. And I'm nut one, she's nut two. There's a story behind that. But you guys may know her as the executive pastor of the Transformation Christian Worship Center, the founder of I Am Built for This Women's Conference, and the founder of Wives That Win Masterclass. Please welcome Pastor Delisa Lewis to the Rebirth.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, no, she didn't.
No. That is no.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I am so excited.
And
to
we
be
are
here.
excited to have you here. And Eli just can't wait to ask you some questions.
I got one in the chamber, cocked and ready to go.
I know that's
I
right.
hope you ready.
I'm ready.
You know what? I'm gonna let her get warmed up because we gotta go into our right here, right now segment. So I'm gonna let you get yourself ready, you know. But we definitely gonna get into what you have to say. But right now we are gonna go to right here, right now.
Man, so unless thank you, Tosh. You made me go deep like I'm a midnight DJ. So now, right here, right now, y'all. So unless you've been under a rock for the last 22 hours, we all know that the Oscars were held last night. And there was a point in the Oscars where Chris Rock, who was being Chris Rock, up there being actually very funny. He was kind of carrying the show along. And he made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith in reference to her. We're looking forward to the new G.I. Jane. Like to see you in it, Jada. And if you are familiar with the original, Demi Moore played in G.I. Jane, and she had a short haircut. Jada Pinkett is currently wearing her hair short due to, from what I understand, alopecia. Is that correct?
Yes.
So she's wearing her hair short due to alopecia. And initially, as he's making this joke about her starring in G.I. Jane, Will's laughing, which kind of threw me for a loop, you know.
Right.
Will's over there cracking up. Jada, not so much. So Chris is going on, and then all of a sudden we hear Chris says, "Oh, okay, Richard Williams is coming to the stage." So he walks up there, and Will smacks him in the face and turns around and walks away. And at that moment, I became very confused. Initially, I thought it was a stunt.
Best friends, like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Memory is him slapping Chris Rock. So I think it really took away from the moment. And you know what they say? You can't take nowhere. We act up even at the Oscars. Listen, 12 years ago, 3 6 Mafia won the most ghetto hood group from Memphis, Tennessee, won an Oscar, and they didn't even act up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's just like, come on, man, handle that in the back. Everybody don't need to see the business, the house's business. Mm-hmm. Like, if that's an issue, take that to the back. I deal with them if you feel away. But in the way he did it, I thought that was
like it should have been taken behind scenes,
because it continues pushes the narrative that we are violent, that we handle things. We can't have a conversation. We can't resolve issues without somebody being hurt. And again, if he'd have done that to anybody else,
Richard Williams was a fierce defender of his family. I want to apologize to the Academy. I want to apologize to all my fellow nominees. Thank you for this moment, and thank you on behalf of Richard and Oracene, the entire Williams family. Thank you. Hope the Academy invites me back. Thank you.
Just threw you right in there.
Okay, well, first of all,
Denzel? It's like, please. Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
Excuse me. There's a lot of background story to this on both ends. I absolutely agree. I don't think that violence was the way to go. But some things I found out today that was very interesting. So I want to put the number out there. If you have a comment and you want to call up to the show and make a comment, the number is 267-908-3166. So one thing that I didn't know, I always found Chris Rock to be a little different, and I just thought that was his style of, being a comedian. But I did not know that for years Chris Rock has been undiagnosed, and they were thinking that he was autistic, that he has Asperger's, right? Wow. So this and it started to make sense, of course, as a therapist, it makes sense because we're talking about social cues. And his jokes have always been a little bit off color, a little bit, right? So as of 2020, he went through a 9-hour cognitive testing to determine if he had Asperger's. Wow. Okay? So what they determined was it wasn't Asperger's, but I'm going to tell you, because we're both therapists here. Now, I think it was just a different way of saying that is Asperger's, but they're trying to soften it a little bit. They called it nonverbal learning disorder, which is not in a DSM, right? So if he was to go to a mental health counselor like us, we wouldn't diagnose him with that. We would diagnose him with Asperger's, right? So with this disorder, he has a hard time reading social cues. So he did an interview saying, not now, but last year he did an interview saying that he just hear words. And usually that's how, somebody that suffers with Asperger's, they don't, pick up on certain things, right? They may say things and don't realize how offensive it could be, right? Okay. So he has been going to therapy 7 hours a week.
Dang.
In 2020, he was doing this to figure out what it was, because this had just been a shadow over his life. And once he finally got the proper diagnosis, he understood why he was struggling so bad. Okay, so that's Chris Rock. Now, not using that and saying that was justifiable, because it wasn't. Now, when it comes down to Will Smith, in his book, Will admitted that he suffers from PTSD. Okay. Now, I didn't read the book, so I don't know where the PTSD came from. But what he did say, a couple sentences that I did read that they had out there, was he felt humiliated and pretty much like a punk, that he has not defended his family in the past when people came for them. Okay. Right? So, knowing that, and then when we saw, because I saw him laugh too, everybody did. Yeah. And I think it was that moment that he looked at Jada and saw that she was offended, is when he felt like he needed to now defend her and retaliate. So it was a very confusing moment. I agree, because you saw him laughing and then all of a sudden a smack, right? So that question, so what, were you really angry, or were you trying to prove to your wife that I'm going to stop this now? And that made me go back to the book and what he said. So that was a little bit of research that I did.
Oh yeah, you went deep on that one.
In regards to that, but I didn't know that about Chris Rock. I really didn't. But now knowing it makes sense.
I'm interested to know what the PTSD is that prompts you to look at your wife being upset, then you go smack him. Because I feel like that whole thing came from him being the red table talk, him becoming a meme, and him being humiliated by his wife in front of millions of people. So, and I read somewhere earlier, they say Chris Rock took that slap for all the people on social media that he couldn't get to.
Built up anger, displaced
anger when you're mad at Jada for embarrassing and humiliating you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen, first of all, that whole conversation about the entanglement would have never happened in front of the world.
No.
That's for me and you to, because you can't heal publicly.
Exactly.
When all your stuff out there, you can't heal like that because these people in this world right here, they're not letting that go no time soon. And so you gotta, I would expect a little bit more from them.
It's like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay.
in the back and say that he didn't approve of that or he didn't appreciate that. But the reality is when you have no reason to practice self-restraint, then there's going to come a time where that's going to come back to bite you. Yeah. And so I felt like he needed to get some things off of him. Yeah. And that was the opportunity he took. Unfortunately, the timing of it, it's going to bite him for a long time. Yeah.
I mean, the Oscars I don't know if they're going to do this, but I know they're saying that they might strip him from the Oscar that he won. I don't know. Sometimes they like to make an example out of people. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. But it did overshadow a lot of things because I believe Questlove had also won an Oscar.
Philly
right?
native, yeah.
Yeah, so
Homeboy.
we didn't even know about that.
Nope.
Yeah. Eli, won't you read some of the comments coming in?
And I will. Let me say this. If I was Chris Rock, though, I know Will's bigger than Chris a little dude. Listen, they'd have to go to commercial break because I'd have been on his back. I'd have beat his whole shoulder out. They'd have had to, you ain't just finna slap me and walk away. I'd have been on him like a chihuahua. You ain't finna slap me and just walk up back to your seat. And they didn't even, it was so disrespectful, they didn't even take a commercial or nothing. They had to say, we'll be right back. Play that funny music. And we'll be back in 2 minutes because I'm in there creating a scene. I'm knocking everything over.
Yeah. Actually, I spoke to someone who said, Chris Rock is from Bed-Stuy, and he had
Do
friends,
or die.
and he had friends with him. So that could have gone a whole different
went way
way. It
left.
could have gone a whole different
It could have went way left, man.
But yeah. So
Brooklyn, stand up. What y'all doing? All right. Just let that man get smacked like that and nobody came out. Tamara P. Jones says, yes, my sister pastor, Delisa Lewis, is in the house. Shout out to Shannon. What's up, bro? Always here. Rob Lewis says, that was not a good look for Will. Miss Jenkins, Nisha Jenkins said, not at all, shaking my head. Tony Tanksley Hewitt, very bad look for him. And uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. I didn't see it live, but I was uncomfortable when I saw the video.
Yeah.
Jesus. Sad night for sure. Not a good representation for us at all with this notoriety and accomplishments of black men. That was not a good look for Will. Rob Lewis, let me see. Rob Lewis said, if Chris Rock knew what was going on with Jada, I'm confident he would not have made that joke. I mean, is it possible for him not to have known? I know.
Well, they said he didn't. So that came out right before I was leaving to come here. They said that Chris did not know that Jada had an autoimmune disease.
Right. Okay.
Right? So,
Shout out to Miss Isabel for watching. Thank you, boo. Here's something that's real right here. Rob Lewis, so I don't get my shoulder bit out when I get home. I got to throw a little shout out, you know what I mean? Rob Lewis says the red table talk situation was disrespectful. And to me, it all goes back to that. That was a catalyst for him doing what he did last night. That's on your wife, bro.
So when he had an interview, and this will be my last time because I want to jump into Pastor Delisa. But he had an interview recently, and they asked him something about, I think it was what is it, Robin? What is her name? Robin.
From Good Morning America.
Yeah, was asking him about infidelity in his marriage, and he said, we never had infidelity in our marriage, but he never said that they have an open marriage. So if they have an open marriage, they know about each other's partners. So that's why he don't consider it infidelity.
Have either one of them ever said they have an open marriage? I've never heard either one of them say that or read that they said
People
that.
from their camp has said it, but I don't think they've actually acknowledged it. So it's crazy. It's always been that connected to them over the years. I don't know, but he did say there was never infidelity in his marriage. So that leads me to say that they do have an open marriage because he's not acknowledging August, whatever his name is,
Alcino,
as infidelity. I couldn't.
She
think
gave
of
a
that.
whole new name. Now she cheated with
not
two
August?
dudes named August. No, it's August Alcino.
Oh, okay. All right.
You call him Alcino.
All right.
I
So
caught
that was right here, right now. We're gonna move on because I definitely want this lady to. We got some topics to talk about. And I love it. And I'm telling you, if we can't get through it tonight, we're gonna have to come back for a part 2.
Okay.
You down?
Okay,
You good for that? Okay. So first, let's tell us a little bit about who you are. I know who you are, but you know.
Well, I'm an executive pastor now, assisting my husband. I am the best helpmeet a man could ever ask for.
All right.
Talk your talk, Pastor.
But of course, I wasn't always this way. I come from a place of a great childhood, but then some things happened. My mother died when I was young. Went through a severe depression. Even in suicidal momentarily, thought about killing myself, killing my children. And then I decided it was probably best to kill some other people instead.
Sensing a theme here.
So I ended up going to therapy, dealing with my issues. And thank God my husband introduced me to Jesus, reintroduced me to Jesus. And from that point, my life took a trajectory going straight up. And it's basically, I'm here to let everybody know it doesn't matter where you are, it can get better.
Yes.
You don't have to stay stuck. You can use your past to take you to your destiny. It's all about perspective. And so I'm just excited that I have the opportunity to encourage as many women, especially women, as many women as possible, that whatever you desire, whatever you dream about, it can happen for you.
Amen.
You just can't quit.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. You do a lot of work with women.
Yeah.
You have the women's conference that you do every year.
I am built for this.
That I'm always away for and never can make because I'm on another retreat.
You gonna miss it this year too?
It depends on when it is.
We're not going to have it. Actually, we're not going to have it this year. We've decided it's a lot of work.
Okay, it is a lot of work for conferences.
It is so much work, and we're going to do it. We'll do it next year. We're going to focus on wives that win the master class this year.
Yes. You want to talk a little bit about that?
So what I figured is that wives get a bad rap. They get a bad rap because there's a lot of responsibility. There's a lot of things that wives deal with, and in this world that we live in now, everybody wants to claim the title of wife without being one. And so
talk about it.
It's true. It's like, just because somebody call you wifey don't make you a
right,
wife.
Right.
And so I'm here to encourage them that wherever their situation, whatever their marriage is, it can be better. I don't care what has taken place. I come from look, I've dealt with infidelity in my marriage. I've dealt with domestic abuse in my marriage. I will say that was me. I got locked up.
He was pointing. He like, let me get that straight.
I got arrested for that.
Dang, none. You ain't told me that one.
drug addiction. We've dealt with blended family. We dealt with everything but homosexuality in our marriage. So I'm here to tell you, whatever it is, I'm telling you, my thing is on top right now. I am loving my man.
Oh,
He's
that's
loving
what's up.
me. And you can have the same thing.
Yes.
But you gotta be willing to work at it.
Gotta do the work.
You gotta grow up.
Yep.
You gotta grow up in this thing. But I'm here to encourage wives because they really don't get the respect. You know, they become common, and they're not common. Because if they were, everybody'd be one.
Right. Say that again.
Make me want to be a wife
For the
now.
people in the back.
Sheesh. I got. Let's do this over. I'll be the wife. All this encouragement.
That's what's up. Oh my God.
Can I say something? Because
course.
they love you here.
Yes.
Are these your parishioners? Y'all
some
tune in
of
next
them
week when we
are,
drinking Hennessy too and cutting up. I want to see that same energy from your church members. No, what I'm going to say is, I just listening to you right now, and I don't know you no more than what Shay has told me already about you, but I appreciate your transparency. I think that we don't see that a lot with pastors today because they are all perfect. And anybody who can stand here and lay their things on the table and encourage people, this is what I've been through, this is how I came through it.
Right.
I definitely respect that. I mean, and you don't get that a lot. So
Thank you. Yeah.
that encourages me too. I appreciate that.
Well, you know, it's easy to be transparent when you've overcome it.
Right.
But the reality is, if you're still dealing with it, then you try to keep secrets. I learned a long time ago that secrets will kill you.
Yes,
You know, and there's power in the secret. Once you release it, it has no more power over you.
That's right.
And so, you know, that's one thing about the wives masterclass is that I'm putting everything on the table. I want them to come in and be able to release that stuff. It doesn't matter, you know, because you have to put on this facade in front of children and co-workers and, you know, family members and all of that. And so you need a place to come release that and let that go.
Absolutely.
You know, and so it's a safe place. It's
Wow.
a safe place.
So Priscilla Isabel, which is your beautiful wife, she said, you better say that, sister.
Woo, let me tell you. Come on, Priscilla, you come on to the Wives Masterclass. I tell you, he gonna send me an offering when I'm done.
Oh, snap. She come back, I'm going to be the wife? You got to know first. I need to know the rules of this thing. Do I still get the peach standing up?
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
'Cause that's a deal breaker right there.
No, all the more.
That's the deal breaker.
All the more. Yes. No, she
Well, go ahead then, baby.
She is not coming in to take over.
Like,
She's
sign her up.
coming in to be everything that she needs to be for her.
I like
so
that.
that she can be, because if she doesn't know who she is,
Yes.
she can't help you.
Ooh, child. Where did sign up sheet at? Is it online or you got a piece of paper? Can I put a name and address on a little piece of paper? With a phone number? Wow.
Oh my goodness. So Delisa, there's a couple of things that we wanted to touch base with, that
Okay.
you actually want to touch base with us in talking about, and it's love versus manipulation. That was I want to start there. Cause
Yeah. I did a Zoom session. A young lady asked me to speak, and so that was what came to mind. I'm like, you know, we call love, we want to label things, and we call it love, and it's manipulation. Because as I was studying it out, what I realized was love gives. So whenever you do something with an expectation to receive, you are manipulating. When you love, you just give because you want to just give. And of course, we know that there is a principle that you reap what you sow. That there is that reciprocal principle in place. So, but what people don't understand is what you give, you may not get it back from the person that you gave it to.
right.
So,
Right.
but there are so many women talking about, I gave, I did, I was there, and so what? That's what you were supposed to do if you were loving him.
Right.
You weren't supposed to be expecting anything back. The minute you started expecting some things back because of what you did, you are now in a place of manipulation.
Wow. So how do we change that mindset? Because I think human nature, naturally, we think, if I'm doing this for you, you should be doing this for me. If I'm giving you this, you should be giving me that back in return. How do we readjust that mindset.
You have to transform your mind. You have to renew your mind. And that comes with a spiritual relationship, because what you start to understand is that I'm here to give. I'm not here to receive. And so you have to have a relationship with God for that. Anything less than that, you're going to find yourself always looking for man to give you back.
You got that?
Yeah, I got it. I'm clearing out some space in my, my memory, my gigabytes is kind of full. I'm trying to clear some things out so I can receive this. I got 3 gigabytes left, but I'm gonna hold on to this.
It's easier when you take, say, men and women, and think about what you do for your children. You sow with an expectation that what you give them, they're going to soar with that.
Right.
You're not looking, well, you better take care of me. We don't look for our children to do that. Yes, it's great if they do. But when we're sowing into them, it's just because we want them to be the best they can be.
Right.
And that's what we need to be doing in our relationships with people. You know, even for girlfriends, I don't give to my girlfriends because I want back from them. I give because it's just what I want to do.
Right. Well, to my children, a nursing home is not an option. You take care of me. You Negroes going to private school and all kind of stuff. I need that back tenfold. I don't care if I got one kneecap left and a one left ear. You hold on to me. All right, go ahead,
But
carry on.
if you sow honor, you'll get honor.
True that.
So, and that goes according to how you treat your parents. If you got to treat your parents a certain way, because that's what your children will see.
Right. Agree.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So when we talk about, earlier you were saying all the things that you have, you guys endured in your marriage and your relationship. How do people overcome adversity in their relationships?
Well, number one, you got to ask yourself why you're there. You got to know why you're in it. And you have to make a decision that quitting is not an option. Whenever quitting is an option, then eventually you'll fall back to that.
Right.
So once you take quitting off the table, I tell people all the time, and they laugh and they think it's funny, and it is, but I'm like, my husband, I don't care where he go. He can't get rid of me. I'm like, nah, I've sown too much in.
Right,
no,
right.
no. You want to see somebody, we going to be seeing, and we going to be together. I'm like, no, you better tell her she better look around every time she get in a car. She better look around every time she go through a door. She better find something. But the reality is, this: you have to make a decision that you're in it for the long haul.
Right.
Because if not, you'll always find an excuse. It's hard to work through adversity, but you have to decide. Once you make that decision, then you change your perspective. Things that you thought were big deals don't become big deals anymore. Then those things that need to be addressed, it's like, okay, how do I address it to get victory over it, as opposed to using this as my excuse for leaving. Or my excuse for not giving 100%.
Right.
And it's going to take 100%. You know, there is no 50-50. There is no, well, I give what he gives. Well, you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
So if I sow what I want, and I don't stop till I get it.
So I have a question here. Person is in a relationship, maybe in a marriage, and of course, infidelity has occurred over and over and over and over again, right? The person is still there. At what point do you say, okay, this is enough, if the other person is not willing to fight for it, or they continue to,
Well, number one, I say that if a person continues to be unfaithful, and you have to look at it and say, okay, I got to take a step back. I need to check out of this situation. Doesn't mean you need to be divorced, but you definitely need to leave that situation, because at that time the person has no respect for you.
Right.
And so the one thing that makes all the difference in the world in a marriage and in a healthy relationship is both people have to know, I can live without you. I don't need you. You're here because I choose for you to be here. And so just like I chose for you to be here, I can choose for you not to be here. And that's how healthy relationships, but whenever there's one who thinks that the other one needs them,
Right.
you open a door for situations to take place. That's why everybody needs to be mature. Everybody needs to be whole. Everybody needs to be growing so that they can be the best that they can be. Because whenever you're broken, there's a door that's there for the enemy to come in and just kick it wide open.
Wow.
So you're going to have to step. I believe that when that kind of infidelity is going on, you need to separate, because you need to take a step back and really look at what you're in. And is this where I need to be?
Right.
Why am I here? Because most of the time when you're accepting that kind of behavior, I would go on to say, you got some issues.
Yeah.
You have some issues you need to address.
Yeah.
So in relationships, right, we often grow at different paces, right? Someone's here, someone may be here, vice versa, and all that. Which a lot of times that causes issue. I think when you're not growing, you're growing separately, but you're not growing as a couple. How do we bring that separate growth? How do we? If I'm gonna say, if she's here and I'm here, how do we get Meetcha here? Like how do we grow together so we can meet the demand? I ain't gonna say the demands, that's the wrong word. Meet the needs of the relationship. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, it's very key how you look at each other. See, you know, the minute you start looking at somebody as though somebody's here and somebody's there, the person who is here has the wrong perspective.
Okay.
You're automatic. You're one. So if he's here, you're here too. See, you can't. When you're one, whatever the deficit is, it belongs to the both of you. So if one has a deficit, then my job, if I see my husband is struggling in an area, then it's my job to help him. It's not my job to point out to him where he is.
Right.
We were just talking about this yesterday on our live. I said, when we first got back together, because we separated about 6 times, right? So on the 6th time we got back together, and this was the time we stayed together, what I realized, and this is when I was developing my relationship with God, I got to a point where I said, you know what? I'm not going to complain to him. I'm not going to bring him another complaint about what he doesn't do or what he does do wrong. I'm going to go to God with that. For a year and it was almost maybe a year and 4 months, almost a year and a half, I did not bring him a complaint.
Man.
Because number one, it wasn't working. I was complaining to him, but he wasn't hearing me. He just heard me complaining.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, nah, okay, God,
Right.
You see me. You see him. You work that out.
Right.
He ain't listening to me no way. So for a year and a half, I'm telling you, for a year and a half, I didn't say, almost a year and a half, year and 4 months, I didn't say anything. Baby, you need to do this. You not hearing me. You don't understand.
Give it to God.
Give it to God.
Yeah. I remember when I was going through my situation, used to say, don't worry about what it looks like.
Don't worry about it.
Don't focus on what it looks like. And that's hard when you in a, you know.
Oh, let me say this too.
What's that?
For women who are dealing with a serial cheater, the reality is it's all one event.
Yeah, I remember you said that too.
It's all
What woman buys into that one?
it's all because, let me say this, it's all one event because it's all one mindset.
It is. You're right.
Because he hasn't changed. All he did when he got caught, he said sorry, but he didn't change his mind.
Right.
You dealing with the same person with the same mindset. So you have to understand what you're dealing with. And it's not about you. That's immaturity on his part.
Yep. That's good. That's good
That is
because
good stuff.
in it, I couldn't see it.
Yes.
But outside of it,
Yes.
it makes a lot of sense, right?
Yep.
And I mean, that's good, but it's really hard for someone to receive that when they are in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you keep, it's over. It's one girl over another girl over another girl over another girl, or another guy over another guy over it, because it can go both ways. But what it comes down to, if the mindset hasn't changed, then the behavior won't.
Yeah. And we use that in therapy on anything.
Yeah.
The mindset hasn't changed, then,
Yeah.
Wow. So, what would you suggest for someone? Do you feel that premarital counseling is important.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's key, because you're infatuated with each other. Ain't nobody farting around the other one. You keep all them bad habits. You all bound up. You gotta go to the bathroom, but you gotta wait for them to leave. That kind of stuff. My husband says all the time, you meet their representative when you're dating.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so premarital counseling just really is one of those things where it poses a lot of questions from someone who's just able to just see from the outside in, and say, have you considered this? Have you thought about this? What are you doing when it comes to this? Because when you think you're, I like that in love thing. When you think you're in love, then you're not seeing straight.
That's another question I had. I know this is off topic. So, I'm trying to see how to. I was just having this conversation. Was we talking about this the other night?
You ain't said it yet.
Oh, I didn't.
I know I'm great, but I ain't reading your mind yet. I know I'm awesome.
I was having a conversation. I believe it was with you and Julie, but I was saying that people that get, not all, but a lot of people that get married are not getting married because they're in love with each other. They're getting married for different reasons. Rather it's business, relationship, or because they feel like they've been with this person for
I don't want to grow old alone.
Time, or if they want to have a child. And, you don't hear people getting married these days because they are truly in love with each other, right? And then I question, is it in love, or I believe you grow. You grow in love, so what is your perspective on that?
I don't think that most people, that in love term really kind of, at this point, I shake when I hear it, because it's something that the world has created.
Right.
I think that marriage is something you need to understand what you're truly getting into, because he need to be better than just being cute. She need to be better than cute. A lot of people marry girlfriends.
Right.
They don't marry wives.
Right.
And then they wonder why you got the problems you have because you married a girlfriend.
Well, since you opened that door, because I know you wanted to talk about that, I want you to elaborate. You are listening to Philly Jamz 95.3, the Rebirth Show, and our guest tonight is Pastor Delisa Lewis. Okay, we're going to get right back on that because I'm not taking no commercial breaks tonight.
Well, let me just say, first of all, the in-love thing, because marriage, you've got to be a partner. You've got to be a friend. You've got to be a business partner. There's so much to marriage that in-love thing will mess you up. Just because you got this chemistry, or somebody's attracted, or you have a few things in common. You like the same music. You talking about you getting married. When this is a lifelong commitment.
Right.
So you need to look at some other things in that in-love thing. Because sometimes you're gonna love your spouse, and sometimes you're not gonna like. Right. Let me say this: no, you're not gonna like them, because you're always called to love them, regardless of how you feel. So that in love thing messes people up a lot.
I feel like, and you tell me, and both of your opinions. I feel like I want my person to like me more than she loves me, because I feel like if we genuinely like each other. That's just, I just feel like if we genuinely like, because I can love you, but if I don't like you,
but I'm
not gonna deal with you. I'm not just like,
you're not gonna like people all the time. I need my husband to love me, regardless of whether he likes me.
I agree with that,
because love is patient, love is kind, love is long suffering. Love doesn't take account of wrongdoings. Love is not gonna bring my past up to me. Love looks to me in hope.
Right.
And so I need him to be held to a standard of loving me when I screwed up. When I overdrew the checkbook, I need him to love me then. He ain't gonna like that, but he's gonna love me.
I hear you.
And sometimes people have to love you because you don't love yourself.
Right.
They have to, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's too much work. Like I can't love you. I need you to love you. I can't.
That is so.
That's too much work.
No, Eli, that's good right there. But there are so many looking to be loved.
Right. Absolutely.
Without loving themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to love yourself regardless of who is loving you. Exactly. Just like I tell people all the time, my husband doesn't give a value to me. He doesn't have a right to say how valuable I am. That comes from my father. Right. So he doesn't, if he decides he doesn't want to value me, that's his loss. He doesn't get to determine whether I should be happy, sad, whether I should, have the joy. He doesn't have that right.
Listen, Facebook is on fire right now. We got all kind of hearts. If you are listening and you like what you hear, come on, throw the hearts up and share it. Okay, share it. Don't be selfish. Share this with somebody that needs to hear this. Okay,
so
share it right now.
You want to talk about that? What is it, wife versus girlfriend?
Yeah, but hold on.
Okay.
Because there's something else I wanted to ask you. Well, first of all, let's read some of the comments. So Rob Lewis says, the power to define is the power to fulfill. If you don't know the definition of marriage, being a husband or being a wife, you will never be able to fulfill it.
That's so
fulfill
good.
it.
That's
so
true.
With that being said, okay. Y'all, her hubby is in the building tonight. I have to say. So if you see me looking over in the corner, that's
I want to talk about that year mental break he got. That no complaint vacation.
Yeah,
I need to go on that trip.
You can ask it.
I need to go on that trip.
But see, you great make me forget I was great.
All right, I'm sorry.
Oh man.
Cocaine's a powerful drug. You better start writing this stuff down. So
you better stop that.
You know they say the mind the first thing to go.
Oh man, wait a minute. Let me read the comment again. Never mind, y'all. I forgot.
I'm sorry. My bad. Can I just say I'm so happy I can be myself in front of you. I don't feel like you're like Bishop Jake's over here and I gotta be. Thank you.
Oh wow.
For being real. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate that.
Tamara Jones says turning in from a complaint to a conversation is a way to do it forever. Conversation with your husband or God. That's how I do it. I try to focus all my work on me.
Yeah.
Amen.
Right.
That's easier work than thinking you're going to change somebody else. You can't change anybody else. The only person you can change is you. Yeah. And that's how my marriage became the way I focused on me, not him. Mm-hmm. You're just spinning wheels thinking you're changing somebody else. You're just spinning wheels thinking you're going to holler at somebody and eventually they're going to get it.
Right.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
The more you focus, if you become the best wife you can be or the best husband you can be, your spouse has no place to go but to change.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
They can't help it.
You taking notes?
You set the environment.
I'm not married. So
that's the goal, man. Now let me leave you alone.
This ain't about me. I keep telling you to stop putting me in these.
Get hot when we start talking about you. Let me be quiet.
Pastor Delisa.
Yes.
I want to go into what the wives and the girlfriends situation. That's where we were going at, right?
Yes, that's where we were going.
Eli, stop throwing me off, man.
Yeah. Oh, what?
My bad.
I'm going to put you in a corner.
I just find that there are so many who want to, they're in relationships, and a lot of times what happens is they've been in relationships for a period of time, and they're doing all these wifely duties, and then they want the title of wife. Well, It doesn't come that way. I know some women on here, it may hurt their feelings, but the reality is when a man wants to marry you, he'll marry you. If he hasn't married you over a long period of time and you both are grown, he don't want to.
Ladies.
Y'all hear that?
It's going to be all right, though. This a little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine.
He don't want to marry you. And you keep giving and giving and thinking you're doing wifely things, but at the end of the day, you still don't have covenant. Right. And so because of that, there's a power lacking in your relationship. There's a power that only comes from the covenant in and of itself. And so when you want to play at it, you gonna get play results, and when it doesn't end up being what you thought it was gonna be, well, that's what you set yourself up for. And it's all because you sold yourself short, because you thought you had to give in and be something before you were given the title. There is a difference between a girlfriend and a wife.
Yes, it is.
All day long. And you can say, well, there's no difference. It's just a piece of paper. Well, that piece of paper means a whole lot. And it also means a lot to God, because God honors covenant. He don't honor girlfriends.
Right.
He don't honor boyfriends. You can pray for him all day long, but unless you're praying for him to come to a revelation of who he really needs to be, you just spinning wheels. So, it's funny because you know those people who've been going together, living together for years,
right?
And then they get married. I mean, it was fine while they were living together. Everything, they were the best couple. They get married, and all of a sudden they divorce.
Seen it.
Why? Because the enemy does not like covenant. So that's when while you were doing what you were doing, there was no friction. It was easy.
Right.
But when you decide you're going to do this and set everybody else apart, it's different. It's different. I tell girlfriends all the time, you a girlfriend. Girlfriends are meant to break up with. They're not meant
You better make me throw something in here tonight.
It is
You
true.
better teach and preach.
Boyfriends are the same way. He's a boyfriend. He meant to break up with. When it's not going good, that's why he a boyfriend, so you can say bye.
Right.
It's not for you to hang on to.
No.
He ain't a husband.
No. What?
Whoa. Okay. Pastor got you.
my nut
Pastor
right
got you
there.
hype up in here.
That is my nut. I remember what I was getting ready to say.
Okay.
What I was trying to say, because I think I was trying to respond to what Pastor Rob Lewis said was, so if you want to get married and you want to be a husband and you want to be a wife, that shouldn't start when you say I do.
Right.
You should be walking as a husband and walking as a wife way before you get down the aisle and say I do.
Right. That's so true. Because where it says when a man finds a wife, that means he found her with the characteristics and the skill sets of a wife. It's one of those things that, oh God, there's so much I just kind of want to say.
I know. We're going to have to have a part 2, 3, 4, 5.
But what's interesting is my husband and I were talking recently, and he had brought something he had read on Facebook. Somebody had posed a question about, are you raised to be a wife or a girlfriend? And I thought about it, and I said, there are women who've been raised to be a wife, and there are women who've been raised to be a girlfriend. And then there are those women who've been raised to be a wife, but settle for being a girlfriend. And so, unfortunately, when you come up in certain families, and you're not exposed to some things, then you find yourself doing wifely things,
right?
But you're really a girlfriend, and you're okay with that,
right?
Until it no longer works for you, So you have to think about: are you a girlfriend? Are you a wife? Are you a boyfriend, or are you a husband?
Let me ask you a question, because I know when we think about boyfriend, girlfriend, we normally think about younger people, right? So
these people old now.
Well, yeah, and that's my point I'm about to get you. So I know some people. He's 67, she's 63, and they are like boyfriend, girlfriend, right? And it's like, well, what you gonna do? When you gonna get married? This joker. So his thing, how he kind of keeps her at bay. He's saying he's trying to get his credit right, so he don't want to marry her. Yeah, he's trying.
Is this a true story, or you making up something?
I don't interrupt you when you be talking. He trying to get his, because he say he want to be able to take care of. I'm like, dude, you already getting Social Security. Like, what more can you? What do you want to do at this point?
Right.
So, though it doesn't matter the age, huh? If you BSing, you BSing, right?
Yup. It doesn't matter and trust me, it has just come to my lap. Those who are you would think by the time you're 50, 60, I'm telling you, bad habits are hard to break.
Yeah.
Bad habits are hard to break. And if you're 60 and he's seeing you, and he keeps seeing you, and you 60 and you giving it up, and he ain't talking about what's there to work out.
So you need to get that 750 credit score at least.
what's there to work out?
Need a new Buick. If he can't get that 225, he can't, you know.
So silly.
What's there to work out?
Yeah.
Right.
And then this is the crazy part, because we've seen this, those people who've been together for years, and then God forbid somebody gets sick, and we didn't need that piece of paper, right? Yep. And then when he gets sick or she gets sick, then you have family members coming in taking over, but you've been there for 20 years.
Right.
What is that? Yeah. But you didn't think the piece of paper, it's important.
It is important.
It is important. And then you got children that he didn't even like coming in, taking his money and getting his insurance, and
you got to get out the house.
And you got to get out the house.
That actually happened to somebody I know.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. Business wise.
Yes, it happens.
Yeah.
It does. It happens a lot. A lot more than people think.
Yeah. It really does. Yeah. It was nothing she could do about it either.
Yeah.
Nothing she could
That's
do about
a Tyler Perry movie, wasn't it? When the guy, he had all the power, and he put the girl out. She went back home to be with Madea. Well, whatever that movie was, but she ended up having to take care of him in the end because he got shot.
Right,
yeah.
And the girl left him.
Right.
That's
whatever that was.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
that
what
movie.
happened. Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like that movie.
Dawn Collins says yes. Oh, she's replying to Bishop Rob. She said, yes, Bishop, get to stepping. Tamara Jones say they love familiar. I can never say this word.
Familiarity.
Good gracious, yes. And not the faith covenant that comes with marriage.
That's true.
Priscilla Isabel, wifey.
Yeah,
she says, why pay the cow when you can get the milk for free?
You bought the cow. You bought the cow.
Move. Yes, we did.
That's what I'm talking about.
And guess what? It provides me with lactated milk because I got a little dairy issue. So that cow trained to go.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So I have to go back to, when, because I think this is really, really serious, and as I do couples counseling, so I'm seeing a lot, right?
Yeah.
And when it get a little bit, I be like, listen, I know somebody. Let me call up Pastor Lisa and Bishop Rob. But what should people, like, how do you know when you're ready to get married, right? Because we're not focusing it on being in love, right? Because you were saying that's
right.
So how does a person know? How does a couple know that they're ready to take that next step?
Number one, when they're ready to share their life, when you know you're ready to give, when you can look at that person and say, I'm all in and I'm willing to give in this relationship all that it takes. More than I'm looking for something in return. And, there's a lot of things that go into that. There's timing, because I think that there's some that are younger that can do it. I think that some older, it really depends on the person. It's an individual issue. And it's a decision that each individual needs to make. But normally when you get to a place in your life where you want to share your life, you're done with keeping things in these compartments, because there are those who want to share parts of their life,
right,
but not all of their life.
Right.
When you're willing to just say, you know what, I want to partner in this thing. I want someone to go through life with, so that we can help each other. I think that's when you're on the road. Yeah.
Okay.
Because anything short of that, you're going to find yourself in disappointment. And even knowing that, you're going to have some issues and challenges, but you have a focus. You'll have a focus, and so it keeps you grounded in what you need to do. But there's so many that are entering in that are so immature.
Right.
And so they find themselves very disillusioned when they get in and they find he's not this and he's not that. And the reality is, on the outside, we all know it. We know it. What you looking at? What you
Right.
Sometimes you talk about what you've been talking about.
Right.
How you get here and you didn't know this, you didn't know that, you didn't know he was selfish. How you not know?
So when that couple sits in front of you and they are truly, they are not ready. this is not going to work. Do you let them like, y'all need to cancel this? Do you let them know that, or do you work with them to get to where they need to be? Like, how does that work?
It depends on what they want. Some couples will come and they're going to get married regardless.
So this is just a formality. We gonna meet with her.
So then your job is to help them, assist them to be what the best that they can be at it.
Okay.
We haven't had a couple that was totally. We've had couples that weren't ready at the time, and they didn't get married at that time. They waited, but most people already, when they come to premarital counseling, they get married.
They all in.
They all in. They not. Most of them, unless they really honor you. Yeah. And leave it up to you. Now, there are some that we know that if I told them right now, don't marry that person, they wouldn't do it. But most that come, they already have it in their mind. So what you have to do is say, okay, y'all gonna do it. Let's just prepare you the best we can. Right. Because you already have in your mind, you already got a date for the wedding. You got the and I'm. That's a whole nother story.
Thank y'all for the love. Oh my God. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had some powerful women on this show over the month of March. Definitely we were, honoring powerful women for the month of March, for Women's History Month. And I remember when I asked you to bless us with your presence, you said, I'm going to take the last Monday. And I'm glad you did, because you are really ending this on a really good note, and it's strong and powerful. And there's so much more to be said, so I have to have you back. And you can come over here and sit along on the table too, because they got some good talk. They was on the Rebirth. Get some of this heat. They was on the Rebirth when I was on Hottest Live.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. I had both of them on together, and man, the conversation, and I've known Delisa for a long time, and I was with Delisa when she met.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Actually,
Don't tell the story.
It was Shay's fault.
Oh, wait a minute.
Shay's fault? Did she met him?
Because let me tell you, at the time we met, we had no business being together.
So it was my fault.
It was her fault. But yeah, Shay was. I'm gonna tell you this story. I got time?
Go ahead, tell the story.
Okay. Shay was feeling bad for it because she was having some relationship issues.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Let her talk. Put Shay mic off. Go ahead, Pastor. You don't interrupt no pastor.
So what we decided, we were gonna go out. I was, cheer her up. So, and it was so funny because at that time I had decided I wasn't looking for a relationship. I was going to be single. I was a single woman with children. So I was just going to focus on my kids. I'm done with the dating thing. I'm just going to focus on my kids. But I was going to take her out. We were going to have fun. Just get her mind out.
What was it, Gotham? Was it
yes,
Gotham?
Yes, it was Gotham.
Remember Gotham?
Delaware Ave, right?
Delaware Ave,
yes,
Philly.
Yeah.
Might have saw y'all up in there.
And it's so funny because my husband worked there. He was a security guard.
Oh wow.
So he was there that night, and
what you do? What you do?
Now
let me finish the story.
I walked over.
Let me finish the story. Okay, because we wasn't in the club no more than 10 minutes, and she saw this man.
Miss, I'm done with your whole relationship thing.
And she looked, her whole body language changed. She looked and she was like, no, look at that. And I was like, but you ain't, you focusing on you, whatever. Yeah.
You're not there
and
right
then
now.
I had the nerve to say, I dare you go over there and say something.
Did. She dared me.
And she walked right on over there. Right over there. Introduced herself and everything, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's this, like mid to late 90s?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotham? Yeah, I remember.
So this was all before the God was in any of us.
I couldn't spell God. I couldn't spell God.
Rob said she couldn't help herself when she saw Big Daddy. I love it.
Wow.
I love it. absolutely love it.
And the next 7 years were pure hell.
That's all right.
But
it was
you
worth
made
it
it.
because where you are now.
It was worth it.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna say my last question for the next time. It'll be our jumping off point.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I know we're getting short on time.
Write it
I ain't gonna forget it because I asked every pastor this question.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry. I just want
Oh,
your perspective.
no. I
your
want you to
perspective.
ask it right now because I know what you're ready to ask. Go ahead and ask it.
All right, Pastor. Pastor D. How come it appears?
Okay.
And I've been to a lot of churches in my day. I grew up down south, spent a lot of time in church.
Okay.
Since I've been an adult, I've been to some other denominations and around some other races.
Okay.
How come black folk don't people who shout? Get the Holy Ghost.
Actually, they don't.
I ain't never seen Tom
They do.
and his wife Becky.
No, there are certain. Actually, it's
Never ever.
no. In especially in some of your
I'm just saying.
Caucasian churches,
Yeah.
especially in the South,
Oh,
it
God.
really depends on where you do go. But there are some, and you got Asians, and you
Never
have,
seen it.
Yes, you do. You do.
I got okay. I've been around for 49 years. This is always I'm
Yes.
like, and so okay. Let's say that every race shouts. How come when the music stops, if you got the Holy Spirit, how do you just stop? Because you got the Spirit.
You shouldn't.
But it happens.
Yes, it does in a lot of churches, but you shouldn't. If you're moved to dance, then you should dance. If you're moved to jump and shout, then that's what you do. But I believe that we are a teaching ministry, and so there is a time for emotion in the church. You never wanted to take emotion totally out of a church. You just want to make sure that when people are dancing, because they're not shouting, they're dancing. You shout with your mouth. Okay. So when they're dancing and praising God in that form, that they're doing it, for the right reasons. But there are some who do it to be seen, just like anywhere you go. There are some who go to church to want to be seen, and so they dance, making the service all long, and you trying to get home, and they keep breaking out, and you like, what are you doing? Do that, and deal with it, and go home. Like
The game about to come on.
Exactly. See, that'd be you.
But there is a time and a place always for it. There is.
All right. I just want to see these white folks shouting and these Asian people.
All
One
right,
time
I'm
in my
gonna have
life.
to take you somewhere
Yeah,
so
you
you
gotta
can
take
see
me somewhere.
this. Yes, my
Man.
goodness.
Gotta see.
And do you see them when they like there's nothing like, especially there are some Caucasian churches, and they're fully in worship, and their hands are raised, and they're dancing. Oh, it's wonderful.
I believe that.
It's
I just
wonderful.
want to see it.
What's that church? There's one in New York, one in Australia. Hillsong.
So I'm sure they're online. All right.
Yes. Look up Hillsong worship. You're definitely.
All right, that's your homework.
All right. My wife wants that information too.
Okay.
By the way.
Awesome. I'll
Listen,
let you
this
share
has
that.
been a great interview.
Yes.
I hope you had fun. I had fun.
yes.
We always have fun together
Yes,
anyway.
yes,
And he
definitely.
wasn't too bad. He had to act
No,
up a
he
little
was
bit,
good.
right?
I
He was
told
good
you I'm a nice
tonight.
guy. He was good.
Just pray. Keep him in prayer,
Yes.
right?
But let me
'Cause-
say, Wives That Win Masterclass, you can go on Eventbrite and register.
Yes.
And look up Wives That Win Masterclass. It's June 4th from 9 to 5. It's all day.
Okay.
8 hours.
And I will put it on my website.
Awesome.
So, and all social medias. So,
Awesome.
yep, just send me that information and make sure that you have it. So, I do have a present for you.
What? I get a present?
Yeah.
Woo-woo.
That's what we do this month. We've been handing out gifts.
Awesome.
I have to make sure. Let's see here. Yeah. So here's your present. Okay. Bishop, I'm gonna make sure I get you one. I didn't know you was gonna be here today. So it's a Rebirth shirt.
Okay.
Yes,
awesome.
yes.
I was going to ask for
absolutely.
my Rebirth shirt. I like this.
Yes, thank you so much. You
Thank
really
you.
dropped a lot of knowledge tonight, and I always love talking to you. I love you so
I love
much.
you. You know that.
Yes, that's my sister. That's my sister right there for sure. And I'm so glad that you both are here, and I
Yes.
definitely I want both of you to come back.
Awesome. We'll be back.
And we're gonna have another conversation And
We're gonna talk
we
about
gonna
that
do the
men's
thing.
stuff.
We're gonna talk about that men's
let's
stuff.
talk about
well,
it.
you know, June we're gonna be doing all month honoring fathers for the month of June.
Okay.
The fellas.
Yes, yes. So yeah, that I will definitely love for you to come through. So again, everybody, this is Pastor Delisa Lewis. Thank you so much for tuning
thank
into
you.
the
You definitely-
Rebirth.
I appreciate
And we love you. Thank you guys for joining us. Don't log off yet because we have a pre-recorded interview that I did with 3 amazing ladies for Women's History Month, and that is how we are going to end the show. If you want to register for Wives That Win Masterclass, they posted in the chat box, so you can definitely register from there and you can share it. You might have some friends that may need to go and attend. I ain't being smart. I'm being serious.
Or maybe it's you, not you. Per
I'm
se,
not a
but
wife yet,
you
but I still
you
can
still go learn.
I'm
No,
still.
it's for wives. See?
Oh, I'm
That's
sorry.
what I'm
Let me
talking
stop. Let
about.
me
For
stay in my
wives
lane.
only. It's for wives only.
You gotta go to the girlfriend master class first and graduate. You gotta that class is
Turn his mic off.
When is that in August?
Turn this mic off. I can't stand. Thank you
know
guys
you my
for
dog.
joining
You know
us.
you my dog. I'm messing with you.
Please stay on so you can watch the other interview coming up. Next Monday night, we have Tanara Willis will be in the building next Monday. So make sure you tune in at 7 p.m. here on The Rebirth. And also, as always, we thank you, we love you, and have a great night.
Peace.
worship you. Change me, oh God. Make me more like you. Change me, oh God. Wash me through and through. Just create in me a clean